You're just about to experience a new and different approach to learning and to language learning that will give you the practical and functional use within 10 to 12 hours of learning time. All this is achieved and will be achieved without memorizing, which means there's never anything to memorize, without learning by rote, without drill, without textbooks, without taking notes, and without homework, without any mental homework. That is very important for you to be relaxed, to take off, to leave off any form of tension, any form of anxiety that is usually associated with learning and traditionally also particularly with language learning. And any form of anxiety, any form of tension inhibits true and effective learning. Before starting, there are two ground rules that are very important. The first ground rule is for you never to worry about remembering, and therefore never to try to remember, because this is a method where the responsibility for your remembering is in the teaching and not with you, not with the learner. And this is a method where the responsibility for attention is in the teaching and not with the learner. Therefore, there's no homework, not even any mental homework. It's very important not to review even mentally of what you've learned. Let it be absorbed and internalized to become knowledge. And what you know, you will not forget. Now come to ground rule number 2. That is very important too. That ground rule is that in the course I'm using 2 students as a teaching device in order to create a learning situation for 3. You become the third in the group. And very quickly you will associate with the 2 on the tapes. You will become part of it. And it's very important, therefore, that after I introduce a concept, I will follow up in a practical way and show you how to formulate and to express thoughts in sentences. First, those will be short sentences, then more and more complex and longer sentences. And whenever I say, how do you say it? At that point, it's very important, I repeat, very important for you to use the pause button on the machine, which gives you time to think it out, to think it through, and to respond out loud. After you respond, you release the pause button. You will then get the response from one of the 2 students, and after that I will repeat it, so that the last impression is always what you get from me. And this is how you will experience a constant sense of progression, a constant sense of learning that you will find exciting, stimulating, and self-rewarding. This course will give you standard Spanish language, a slight difference in pronunciation with so-called Castilian Spanish in the pronunciation in parts of Spain, where the C in front of an E or I is pronounced like a TH in English, like in Barcelona. That's how you will pronounce it in Castilian Spanish in parts of Spain, but everywhere else it will be pronounced Barcelona, like an S. So again the C before E and I, and also the Z or the Z, which is pronounced like a TH. If you want to say you are right in Spanish, you say you have reason. The word for reason, spelled R-A-Z or Z-O-N, in Castilian Spanish will be pronounced razón, otherwise razón. So it's a very, very slight pronunciation difference. So in Spanish, you are right, you will say tiene or tienes razón in Castilian Spanish, but otherwise tienes razón. With heart is corazón, C-O-R-A-Z or Z-O-N. In Castilian Spanish, corazón, otherwise corazón. This is the only slight difference. I do point it out in the beginning of the course. First, a few words about the Spanish language in relationship to English, to show you how to get acquainted with the language that is not entirely foreign, alien to English, but that there's a broad common basis of familiarity between both English and Spanish. So much so that there's a large percentage, the su vocabulario inglés of your English vocabulary, that is very similar to Spanish. Thousands of words. And para comenzar, to commence, to begin with, I'm going to give you a few keys to show you how you can immediately transform su vocabulario inglés, your English vocabulary, into Spanish, so that you will have a starting vocabulario of well over 2,000 words, which is not bad to begin with. Especially, if you consider how limited the vocabulario is, which we use in our active language. And now our vocabulario activo, our active vocabulary, is quite small in any language. It may vary between 500 and 1,500 words. That's all we use in any language. If I think of one of the major newspapers in the New York area, years ago, they tried to establish how many words they use in the whole newspaper, in a thick newspaper, and they came up with 600 words. Just to give you an idea about the limitation del vocabulario activo, of the active vocabulary which we use in our everyday language. I'm going to give you a few examples of how to transform su vocabulario inglés, your English vocabulary, into Spanish. For instance, all words in English ending in IBLE, like possible, or ABLE, like probable, acceptable, and so on, are the same in English and in Spanish, except for the pronunciation, for the pronunciation. There's a diferencia, the difference in the pronunciation and the pronunciation. Because IBLE in Spanish is pronounced ible, because the letter I in Spanish is always pronounced E. And able in Spanish is pronounced able, because the letter A in Spanish is always pronounced A. So we have able and able. So if you want to say possible would be posible, and probable would be probable. And it is in Spanish is S, spelled E-S, S. So it is possible would be
Es posible.
Yes, but I want to hear the ble.
Es posible.
Es posible.
Es posible.
Right. Es posible. And probable would be it is probable.
Es probable.
Es probable. It is terrible would be
Es terrible.
What's more?
Es terrible.
Yes, es terrible. And it is acceptable. Acceptable is spelled with one C only in Spanish. Es
aceptable.
Yes, but I want to hear the ending. Es aceptable.
Es aceptable.
Ble. Ble. Yes, possible?
Es aceptable.
Right, es aceptable. For me is para mí. Para, P-A-R-A. Again, the A is always an A. Para mí, for me. And for you would be para usted. Usted, spelled U-S-T-E-D. The D is hardly audible. Usted. So, for you would be
Para usted.
para usted. How would you say it is for me?
Es para mí.
Es para mí. Mm-hmm. It is not would be no es. So, it is not for you would be
No es para usted.
right. No es para usted. It is for me.
Oh, no es para mí.
No es para mí would be it is not for me. How would you say it is for me?
Oh, es para mí.
Para mí.
Es para mí.
Me, spelled M-I. Yes. Para mí.
Es para mí.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So once more. It is not for you, it is for me.
No es para usted, es para mí.
Right. No es para usted, es para mí. Mm-hmm. It is not possible for me.
No es posible para mí.
Right. No es posible para mí. It is possible for you would be
Es posible para usted.
right. Es posible para usted. It is acceptable for me would be
Es aceptable para mí.
right. Es aceptable para mí. If you want to ask a question in Spanish, it's very simple. You just use the inflection. For instance, if you want to say, it is acceptable for you, as a statement would be
Es aceptable para usted.
right. Es aceptable para usted. If you want to make it a question, you will say, is it acceptable for you? You use the inflection to a question.
Es aceptable para usted?
Right? Es aceptable para usted? In spelling, to make a distinction in reading, whether it is a statement or a question, whenever you have a question, you will have in front of the sentence an inverted question mark. The inverted question mark in Spanish will indicate that this is going to be a question. At the end you have a question mark, of course. So, isn't it acceptable for you, would be?
No es aceptable para usted?
Right? No es aceptable para usted? And the word for why is por qué. Por qué. What for what? Por qué? Why? Yes, por qué also means because. So, why isn't it acceptable for you?
¿Por qué no es aceptable?
Aceptable. It's only spelled with one C.
Okay.
¿Por qué?
¿Por qué no es aceptable para usted?
Right. Now, here, in this case, the inflection is not necessary. You may or may not, because por qué already introduces the question, yes? So you can say, ¿por qué no es aceptable para usted? Or ¿por qué no es aceptable para usted? Either way. A useful, very useful little word in Spanish is one word for like that or that way, which is así. Así, which is spelled A-S-I, and it has an accent over the I. I will explain to you a little later why the accent. Así, así, así means like that, that way. So, it is like that would be
Es así.
es así. It is not like that.
No es así.
No es así. Mm-hmm. It is not possible that way.
No es posible así.
No es posible así. It is not acceptable for me that way.
No es aceptable.
It's only spelled with one C.
No es aceptable
For me.
para mí así.
Right. No es aceptable para mí así. Why isn't it acceptable for you that way?
¿Por qué no es posible?
Acceptable.
Oh, aceptable
For you.
para usted.
Para usted.
Usted así.
Right. ¿Por qué no es aceptable para usted así? If you want to say, I'm sorry, which sometimes you may want to say, in Spanish you say, I feel it. I feel very badly about it. I feel is siento. Siento. Spelled S-I-E-N-T-O. Siento. Siento. Sentiment with feeling, with sentiment. Siento is I feel. The O of siento in the verb expresses I. So the word for I in Spanish is yo, spelled Y-O, yo. But if you say yo siento, that would make it more emphatic. That would be I feel. In English, you would have to raise the volume of your voice, I. Because the I is not necessary because of the O in siento. Siento is I feel. And lo siento would be it I feel, or I feel it, I really feel it. I'm sorry. Lo siento is used for I'm sorry, I feel it. Lo siento. And lo siento, I'm sorry, is usually followed by but. I'm sorry, but. And but is pero. Pero. P-E-R-O. So how would you say I'm sorry, but?
Lo siento, pero.
Lo siento, pero. Lo siento, pero. I'm sorry, but it is not acceptable for me. That way would be.
Lo siento, pero no es aceptable para mí así.
Right. Lo siento, pero no es aceptable para mí así. I'm sorry, but it is not possible that way.
Lo siento,
But
pero
Right. Lo siento, pero.
no es
No, it is not possible that way.
no es posible así.
Right. Lo siento, pero no es posible así. It is not possible that way. No es posible. Words in English ending in ENT and ANT are similar in Spanish. In Spanish, you add the letter E pronounced E, so which makes ENT in Spanish ente at the end. Like different would be diferente. ENTE. Ente. Differente. And ANT makes it ANTE, which makes it ante. Important, therefore, will be importante. So ante and ente and ente, with the stress on the an or en, ante and ente. So it is important for me would be...
Es importante para mí.
Right. Es importante para mí. And it is not different that way would be...
No es diferente así.
Right. No es diferente así. The word for good is bueno, bueno, bueno. If you want to make it very good, very is muy. Muy spelled M-U-Y. Muy. So, it is very good would be... It is...
Es muy...
Muy, not... muy.
Es muy bueno.
Bueno, bueno.
Es muy bueno.
Right. Es muy bueno. Es muy bueno. It is not very good.
No es muy bueno.
No es muy bueno. It is not very different that way.
No es muy.
Muy.
No es muy.
Not muy. Muy, muy.
No es muy.
No, muy, muy, muy.
Muy.
There's no M-U-Y. Muy. Muy.
Muy.
Right.
No es muy diferente así.
Right. No es muy diferente así. But it is very important for me. But
Pero
it is very important for me.
es muy importante para mí.
Importante
Importante
for me.
para mí.
Right. I say importante because in Spanish they allow you only one single stress on any word. Never more than one stress. I repeat, never more than one. I will explain to you later where to put that stress. Right now, I will say, whenever you have a vowel at the end of a word, that one single stress will be placed on the penultimate syllable, on the syllable before last. So, important, therefore, will be
Tante.
importante. Yes. So you cannot say importante. You cannot say importante, because you are only allowed one single stress. Restaurant would be...
Restaurante.
Right. Restaurante. I have, in Spanish, is tango. Tango. It's almost like the tango which one dances in Argentina, but it is spelled with T-E-N-G-O. Tango. I have a tango. Tango. I have tango. So, again, the O in tango expresses, and the verb expresses I. So you don't have to say, your tango. Your tango would be, I have. But just I have tango. I don't have would be...
No tango.
No, not tango.
No tango.
Right. The O is an O, like an obey. It's not an O, but an O. No tango. No tango. What is... I'm sorry. I feel it.
Lo siento.
Lo siento.
Lo siento.
What does I have?
Tengo.
Tengo. And I have it would be
Lo tengo.
lo tengo. Right. So like lo siento, I feel it, I have it, lo tengo. Lo tengo. So how would you say I don't have it?
No lo tengo.
No.
No.
No lo.
No lo tengo.
Again, it is not the O is not an O, but an O. Obey, like an obey. No lo.
No lo tengo.
Right. No lo tengo. I don't have it. No lo tengo. I want is quiero. 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 I want. I care. Quiero. Quiero. Spelled Q-U-I-E-R-O. The Q-U has the sound of a K. So quiero. Quiero. I want. Again, the stress whenever you have two syllables and the second syllable ends in a vowel, the syllable before last is the first one. This is where you put the stress. Tengo. Quiero. Quiero, I want. And I want it would be
Lo quiero.
not lo, but
Lo
right.
quiero.
Right, lo quiero. I want it. I don't want it that way.
No lo
Not no.
No lo quiero así.
Right. No lo quiero. Así. I need is necesito. Necesito. I necessitate. Necesito. I need. Here we have 4 syllables. Necesito. You have a vowel at the end, so you push down on the syllable before last, on the penultimate syllable, which makes it necesi. And then you come up on O. Necesito for I need. Yes. Again, the O, the O for I. So, again, I need would be
Necesito.
necesito. And I need it.
Lo necesito.
Lo necesito. And I don't need it.
No lo necesito.
No lo necesito. Right.
No lo necesito.
Yes. The word for now is ahora. Ahora. Hora, spelled H-O-R-A, means hour. And the H is not pronounced in Spanish. So hora means hour. Ahora, at hour. A means at or to. Ahora, at hour, meaning now. At the hour. Now, ahora. How would you say, I want it?
Lo quiero.
Right. Lo quiero. Lo quiero. I want it. But.
Pero.
But I don't need it now.
No lo necesito ahora.
Right. No lo necesito ahora. So say it again. I want it, but I don't need it now. I want it.
Lo quiero,
But.
pero no lo necesito ahora.
Right. Lo quiero. I want it. But. Pero. No lo necesito ahora. I don't need it now. Constant would be.
Constantante.
Once more.
Constantante.
It's not.
Okay.
It's constant. It's not constant. Oh. Constant would be
Constant? I don't know.
Everything with A-N-T and E-N-T is...
constant.
Once
Constante.
More? Right, of course. Constante. Evident.
Evidente?
Of course. Say it again.
Evidente.
Evidente, yes. And urgent would be urgente. The G before E and I in English is pronounced J. Urgent, yes. And in Spanish, the G before E and I is pronounced like in Scotland, the Loch Ness. Loch. So urgent would be urgente. Urgente. But spelled with a G. So it is very urgent would be?
Es muy urgente.
Right. Es muy urgente. How would you say, I need it now? It is very urgent.
Lo necesito ahora. Es muy urgente.
Yes, es muy
Gente.
Once more?
Urgente.
Right. Urgente.
Urgente.
Yes. Right. So, lo necesito, I need it. Lo necesito ahora. It is very urgent. Es muy urgente. I have is
Tengo.
tengo. And I have it.
Lo tengo.
Lo tengo. And I don't have it.
No lo tengo.
No lo tengo. But you have is tiene. 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 Tenacious. Tiene. Spelled T-I-E-N-E. Tiene is you have. Of course you can say usted tiene for you have, or just tiene. If you're talking to somebody, tiene will be understood you have. So if you want to say what is que? Que. Que. Spelled Q-U-E, it has an accent over the E. Que. How would you say, what do you have?
Que tiene.
Right. Yes, but only one. You gave me you gave me more than one stress.
Que tiene.
Right. Que tiene. Que tiene. Yes. You may push down deeper if you wish, but there's only one single stress. Not to whisper more than one. Que tiene. What do you have? So, what you have for me now would be?
Que tiene.
For me?
Para mí.
Para mí.
Para mí. Así. Oh, no, ahora.
Ahora, right. Que tiene para mí ahora. So once more, what does I have?
Tengo.
Once more?
Tengo.
Right. Tengo. I have it.
Lo tengo.
Lo tengo. And I don't have it.
No lo tengo.
No. No lo. The O is an O.
No.
No lo. Once more?
No lo tengo.
No lo tengo. You have is?
Tiene.
Once more?
Tiene.
Tiene. Right. Tiene. What do you have?
Que tiene.
Que.
Que tiene. Oh, tiene.
Yes. Right. Que tiene. Once more, I have it.
Lo tengo.
Lo tengo. Yes, it I have. Lo tengo. How would you say you have?
Tiene.
Once more?
Tiene.
Tiene. Tiene. And you have it would be?
Lo tiene.
Right. It you have. Lo tiene. How would you say, do you have it?
Lo tiene.
Right. Lo tiene. How would you say, you don't have it?
No lo tiene.
No lo tiene. Right. How would you say, don't you have it?
No lo tiene.
Right. No lo tiene. You use the inflection to a question. No lo tiene. Don't you have it? Don't you have it for me now?
No lo tiene para mí ahora.
Right? No lo tiene para mí ahora? Why don't you have it for me now? Because I need it. Why?
¿Por qué
Don't you have it
no lo tiene
for me
para mí
now?
ahora?
Ahora?
Ahora.
Because and why is the same?
¿Por qué?
Porque I need it now.
Lo necesito ahora.
Right. Porque lo necesito ahora. So, why don't you have it for me? Porque no lo tiene para mí. Now, ahora, because, porque. I need it. Now, lo necesito ahora. What is I want?
Quiero.
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 Right, quiero. Quiero. Quiero, I want. And I want it.
Lo quiero.
Lo quiero. I want it. I want it now.
Lo quiero ahora.
Right, lo quiero ahora. I don't want it.
No lo quiero.
No lo quiero. I don't want it. So, again, I want is
Quiero.
quiero. Quiero. So the O is for I. And if you change the O to an E, pronounce that would be for you. So you want would be
Quiere.
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 Right. Quiere. So again, I want.
Quiero.
A little more push.
Quiero.
Quiero. Quiero. So the O for I. And you want.
Quiere.
Quiere. What do you want? What is
Que.
que?
Que quiere.
Que quiere? What do you want? Que quiere? I want it.
Lo quiero.
Lo quiero. I don't want it.
No lo quiero.
You want is.
Quiere.
You gave me 2 pushes.
Quiere.
Aha. Quiere. Right. How do you say you want it? Let's go back to I want. Right.
Lo quiere?
Oh, you already answered my next question. You turned it into a question. Lo quiere is do you want it? I said you want it.
Lo quiere.
Yes. Lo quiere. And now if you want to say do you want it?
Lo quiere?
Lo quiere? Yes, do you want it? Lo quiere? You use the inflection to a question. How would you say, why don't you want it that way?
¿Por qué?
¿Por qué?
¿Por qué?
Don't you want it?
No lo quiere así.
Así, right. ¿Por qué? No lo quiere así. To know is saber. To have sabe, saber, spelled S-A-B-E-R. Saber, to know. I want to know would be.
Quiero saber.
Right, quiero saber. Quiero saber. I don't want to know.
No quiero saber.
Right, no quiero saber. How would you say, I want to know why you don't have it for me now?
Quiero saber
Why?
por qué.
¿Por qué?
¿Por qué?
You don't have it.
No lo tiene.
Once more.
No lo tiene
Right, no lo tiene for me.
para mí
No.
ahora.
Right. Quiero saber, I want to know. ¿Por qué? Why? No lo tiene, you don't have it. Para mí ahora. I can is puedo. 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 Spelled P-U-E-D-O. Puedo. Puedo. The English word power has the same derivation. But what you can do gives you the power to do it. Puedo is I can. If I can is puedo with the O, puedo. How would you say you can?
Puede.
But only one stress.
Puede.
Right. Puede. Puede. to do or to make is hacer, spelled H-A-C-E-R. Again, the H is not pronounced, so you have hacer, to do. How would you say to do like that?
Hacer así.
Hacer así.
Hacer así.
Hacer así. Hacer así. Yes? To do like that. Hacer. Hacer así, to do like that. So hacer is to do and also to make. C before E and I, like hacer, in Madrid and Castilian Spanish is pronounced like a TH, like an English TH, meaning hacer. So you have either hacer or hacer. In all of Latin America, it's you don't have the TH sound. It's hacer, yes. But also in some parts of Spain, you also say hacer. So hacer, to do or to make. So if you want to say, what do you want to do now, would be, what do you want? What is right? Do you want?
Quiere.
Que quiere, to do.
Hacer.
Now.
Ahora.
Right. Que quiere hacer ahora. Again, to do.
Hacer.
Okay. When you have a consonant at the end of a word, then the one single stress will be placed at the end. So to do or to make is?
Hacer.
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 Right. To eat is spelled C-O-M-E-R. Pronounced?
Comer.
Comer. To eat in the commissary. Comer. To eat. And the word for something is algo. Algo. So I want something would be?
Quiero algo.
Once more?
Quiero algo.
Quiero algo. I have something for you. I have.
Tengo.
Once more?
Tengo.
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 Tengo. Oh, yes.
Tengo. Algo. Algo.
Algo. Right.
Algo.
For you.
Para usted.
Para usted. Tengo. Yes. Again, the O is an O. Tengo algo para usted. And I want to eat would be?
Quiero comer.
Quiero comer. Comer. Quiero comer. And I want to eat something now.
Quiero comer algo.
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 Right, algo.
Ahora.
Right. Quiero comer algo ahora. What does I have?
Tengo.
Tengo. And if you want to say I am hungry, in Spanish you say I have hunger. The word for hunger is hambre, spelled H-A-M-B-R-E. Not to be confused ever with hombre, which you may have heard. Hombre, H-O-M-B-R-E means man. But hambre means hunger. For I'm hungry, you say, I have hunger, which would be?
Tengo.
Tango.
Tengo.
Not tango. Tango.
Tengo hambre.
Right. Tengo hambre. Tengo hambre. So I want to eat something now because I'm hungry would be. I want.
Tengo.
No, I want.
Quiero.
Once more.
Quiero.
It's not,
Quiero.
right. Quiero.
Quiero.
To eat.
Comer.
Comer. Something.
Algo.
Algo. Now.
Ahora.
Right. Quiero comer algo ahora because.
¿Por qué?
Porque I have hunger.
Tengo hambre.
Right. Porque tengo hambre. Quiero comer algo ahora. I want to eat something now because I'm hungry. Porque tengo hambre. What do you want to eat would be. What do you want?
¿Qué quiere?
Not que, but que.
¿Qué quiere?
Once more.
Quiere. Quiere.
Right. Say it again.
¿Qué quiere?
Quiere. Yes.
Quiere
To eat.
comer.
Right. ¿Qué quiere comer? So again, I'm hungry would be I have hunger.
Tengo hambre.
Tengo hambre. How would you say you are hungry? That would be you have hunger, yes?
Tiene hambre.
Tiene hambre. And are you hungry?
Tiene hambre.
Right. Tiene hambre. How would you say, are you hungry? Do you want to eat something now?
Tiene hambre. ¿Quiere comer algo ahora?
Right. Yes. Tiene hambre. Do you have hunger? Are you hungry? Tiene hambre. Do you want to eat something now? Do you want, quiere, to eat, comer algo ahora? And why don't you want to eat?
Porque
Don't you want?
no quiere comer.
Right. ¿Por qué no quiere comer? Why don't you want to eat? All words in English, almost all words in English, ending in "-ery", like necessary, vocabulary, contrary. So "-ery" in Spanish becomes "ario", like necessary would be
Necesario.
"necesario". So it is not necessary for me now because I don't need it.
No
It is not necessary.
No es necesito.
Necessary is
Necesario.
right. So once more, it is not necessary
No es necesario
for me,
para mí,
para mí, no.
ahora.
Right. No es necesario para mí ahora because I don't need it.
¿Por qué?
¿Por qué? I don't need it.
No lo necesito.
No lo necesito is right. I don't need it. No lo necesito. It is not necessary for me now because I don't need it.
No es necesario.
Right. No es necesario for me.
Para mí.
Para mí.
Para mí.
No.
Ahora.
Because I don't need it.
Porque no lo necesito.
Right. Porque no lo necesito. How would you say, I'm sorry, but I don't have it and I don't want it because I don't need it now? I'm sorry.
Lo siento.
It's a little more push.
Lo siento.
Right. Lo siento, but
Pero
I don't have it.
no lo tengo.
And is E, spelled Y.
Y
And I don't want it.
no lo quiero.
No lo quiero,
No
right?
lo quiero.
Because I don't need it now.
Porque no lo necesito ahora.
Right. ¿Por qué? No lo necesito because I don't need it now, ahora. Contrary would be?
Contrario.
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 Al contrario would be on the contrary. Al contrario. Vocabulary.
Vocabulario.
Vocabulario. The word for to see is ver, spelled V-E-R. Vision, Ver, to see. The V in Spanish has the same sound as the B. V and B have the same sound. In other words, you pronounce the V with your lips, and sometimes it's a soft B, so it may sound like a V, but pronounced with your lips. So to see is bear, yes, like seeing the bear, bear. Again, very important to know how to pronounce the V like a B. And you will understand why Spanish speakers, when they learn English, have to learn how to pronounce the V in English, how to touch the upper teeth with your lower lips. Otherwise, you will hear them say it's very, very good. Very good. So bear. If you have the whole verb, like to see, and you want to say to see it, then the it follows the position like in English. You will say verlo. Verlo. And in Spanish, you hook it on, also in spelling. Verlo is spelled in one word, to see it, verlo. Like, if you want to say, I want to see it, would be
Quiero verlo.
Quiero verlo. I don't want to see it.
No quiero verlo.
Right, no quiero verlo. Again, I want is
Quiero.
Quiero. I want it.
Lo quiero.
But I want to see it.
Quiero verlo.
Quiero verlo. Do you want to see it?
Quiere verlo.
Yes, a little more push on do you want.
Quiere verlo.
Right. Quiere verlo. Why don't you want to see it?
¿Por qué?
Mm-hmm. Don't you want? What's more?
No.
What's more? Why don't you want?
¿Por qué no quiere
Yes.
verlo?
Right. Say it again.
¿Por qué no quiere verlo?
Right. ¿Por qué no quiere verlo? What is I can? Do you remember I can? It's the power part. Puede. I can.
Puede.
Puede is you can.
Puedo.
Puedo. Yes, I can. And you can would be?
Puede.
Right. So, I cannot see it would be?
No puedo verlo.
Right. No puedo verlo. Whenever you have 2 or 3 consecutive verbs, the second and third verb is the full verb. In other words, in the English to form, also called infinitive. In other words, I cannot see it would be I cannot to see it. No puedo verlo. I will come back to it. Can you see it would be can you?
Puede.
But only one push.
Puede.
Puede, right?
Verlo.
Puede verlo would be you can see it. How about the question? Can you see it?
Puede verlo.
Right. Puede verlo? Yes. Puede verlo? Can you see it? If you say puede verlo, would be you can see it. But if you use why or what can you see, then the why and what already introduces the question and the inflection is not necessary. You still can use it. So what can you see would be what can you, what is
Que puede
see.
ver.
Right. Que puede ver, yes. Or why can't you see it?
¿Por qué?
¿Por qué?
¿Por qué?
Can you not see it?
No puede verlo.
Right. ¿Por qué no puede verlo? Now here the inflection is not necessary because ¿por qué already introduces the question. But you still can say also ¿por qué no puede verlo? Or ¿por qué no puede verlo? Either way, it's why can't you see it? What is to do or to make?
Hacer.
Hacer. H-A-C-E-R. Hacer. Yes.
Hacer.
Hacer. And to see is
Ver.
ver. To see it,
Verlo.
verlo. To do or to make is
Hacer.
hacer. How do you say to do it?
Hacerlo.
Yes, but don't give me two pushes. Only one.
Hacerlo.
Hacerlo. Right. Hacerlo. Yes. So hacer, and you hook on the lo to the R. Hacerlo. It's also spelled in one word. Hacerlo is to do it or to make it. So I don't want to do it that way would be
No quiero hacerlo así.
right. No quiero hacerlo así. Because I cannot do it.
Porque
¿Por qué? I cannot.
no puedo hacerlo.
Right. Porque no puedo hacerlo because I cannot do it. Why can't you do it?
¿Por qué no,
Can you not?
no puede?
Give me a little more push. ¿Por qué no?
¿Por qué no puede?
Right. ¿Por qué no puede? Do it.
Oh, hacerlo.
Right. ¿Por qué no puede hacerlo? I want to know why you can't do it that way. I want to know.
Quiero
To know is
saber. Ver.
what more? Yes. Yes.
Quiero saber.
Right. Quiero saber. S-A-B-E-R. To know. Quiero saber. Why?
¿Por qué
You can't do it that way.
no puede?
A little more push.
No puede
Right. No puede. Do it.
hacer así.
Do it.
Hacerlo así.
Right. So, quiero saber. I want to know. Why? ¿Por qué? You can't do it. You cannot. Is no puede. Do it. To do it. Hacerlo así. That way. Words in English ending in ENCE and ANCE are similar in Spanish. All words ending in ENCE, like difference, in Spanish will end in ENCIA, ansia, and ANCE, ansia. So difference would be
Diferencia.
differencia. Importance will be
Importancia.
importancia, right? Influence,
Influencia.
influencia. Preference,
Preferencia.
of course. Preferencia. And the difference is la. So the difference would be la
Diferencia.
differencia. A difference is una differencia. And what difference would be? What is
¿Qué
que
diferencia?
differencia? So the preference would be
La diferencia.
preference.
Oh, la preferencia.
Yes, once more.
La preferencia.
Yes, but I want to hear it a little more clearly. La
preferencia.
Right. La preferencia. Yes, you push down on the penultimate syllable, on the syllable before last. Preferencia. La preferencia. A preference would be?
Una preferencia.
Right. Una preferencia. And what preference?
¿Qué preferencia?
¿Qué preferencia? How would you say, do you have a preference? Do you have?
Tiene.
Yes, a little more push.
Tiene.
Right. Tiene.
Una preferencia.
Right. Tiene una preferencia. What preference do you have?
¿Qué preferencia tiene?
Tiene.
Tiene.
Right. ¿Qué preferencia tiene? For what restaurant do you have a preference? For?
Para.
What restaurant?
¿Qué restaurante?
Right. Para qué restaurante do you have a preference?
Tiene una preferencia.
Right. ¿Para qué restaurante tiene una preferencia? If you want to say tonight in Spanish you say this night. This is esta, and night is noche. N-O-C-H-E, noche. Esta noche is tonight. So it is for tonight would be?
Es
for?
para esta noche.
Right. Es para esta noche. So, once more, for what restaurant do you have a preference tonight?
¿Para qué restaurante?
A little more push.
¿Para qué restaurante?
Right. ¿Para qué restaurante? Do you have a preference?
Tiene una preferencia.
Tonight.
Esta noche.
Right. ¿Para qué restaurante tiene una preferencia esta noche? Where is donde? Donde. Donde. D-O-N-D-E. Donde. Where do you want to eat?
Donde
Do you want?
quiere comer.
Right. Donde quiere comer. The dinner in Spanish is la cena. La cena. Cena, spelled C-E-N-A. In Madrid, cena. The C before E, like a TH sound. Cena or cena is dinner. La cena. And to dine, to have dinner, in Spanish you say to dine, cenar. C-E-N-A-R is to dine or to have dinner. So, where do you want to have dinner tonight would be?
¿Dónde
Do you want
quiere
to dine
cenar
tonight?
esta noche?
Right. ¿Dónde quiere cenar esta noche? Yes. Do you have a preference?
¿Tiene una preferencia?
Right. ¿Tiene una preferencia? What preference you have?
¿Qué preferencia tiene?
¿Qué preferencia tiene? Right. And for what restaurant do you have a preference tonight?
¿Para qué restaurante
Do you have a preference
tiene una preferencia
tonight?
esta noche?
Right. ¿Para qué restaurante tiene una preferencia esta noche? All words in English ending in ION are also similar in Spanish. Like opinion is opinión, and everything that is spelled with T-I-O-N in English, like condition, position, reservation, and so on. There are 1,200 of them in English and in Spanish. But everything that ends in T-I-O-N in English is spelled with C-I-O-N in Spanish, because that is how you pronounce it in Spanish, which means that condition in Spanish would be pronounced
Condición.
Yes, but you hit the ending. Condición.
Condición.
Condición. Yes. Condición. Position would be?
Posición.
Posición. You are only allowed one stress. Yes. And reservation would be?
Reservación.
Reservación. The V is pronounced with your lips, with like a soft B. Reservación.
Reservación.
Right. The reservation would be?
La reservación.
La reservación. Yes. A reservation.
Una reservación.
Hit the ending.
Una reservación.
Right. Una reservación. And how would you say, do you have a reservation for me for tonight?
Tiene una reservación
For me?
para mí.
Para mí? For tonight.
Para esta noche.
Right. So do you have a reservation for me? Tiene una reservación for me, para mí, for tonight, para esta noche.